It's a done deal. International Criminal Court has issued official and arrest warrant for Netanyahu. We talked about this happening not too long ago with the guest who decided to become a de facto defender. It was ironic to me. Put it up full mass. Here we go. Let's list the ways. The International Criminal Court, ICC, issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former defense attorney, Minister Gallant, and military leader of Hamas, Mohammed Deif. The charges accuse leaders of all committed war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. ICC prosecutor Karim Khan, and we remember his commentary during that, I would say, very pivotal moment, who initiated the request in May and initiated the request with vigor, I may add, alleged that both Netanyahu and the former defense minister bear, quote, criminal responsibility for policies that caused mass starvation in Gaza, violating international law. Meanwhile, the military leader of Hamas, whose fate remains uncertain following unverified reports of his death, faces allegations of murder, torture, hostage taking, and sexual violations. The ICC, International Criminal Court, stated there were, quote, reasonable grounds to pursue these charges against all three leaders. The development leaves both Netanyahu and the former defense minister vulnerable to arrest in nations recognized by the ICC, or the ICC jurisdiction, under the 1998 Rome Statute, though many member states have historically ignored such warrants. So in September 2024, Israel formally submitted 2 legal challenges to the ICC, arguing procedural errors and asserting that the court lacks authority over its nationals, given that Israel is not a signatory to the Rome Statute. Additionally, Israel has questioned the impartiality of the ICC and judges involved in the case for the complicated proceedings. Despite these efforts, the ICC's pretrial chamber rejected Israel's jurisdictional challenges, maintaining that there are reasonable grounds for its pursuit of a case. Now, for me, the irony is, if you are a nation claiming that the ICC bears zero authority and has absolutely no jurisdiction, when you start responding officially through their chain of response, you have thus said at least they're credible enough and have enough jurisdiction to get you to file these motions trying to get the case dismissed. There's more. Meanwhile, 19 senators on Wednesday voted against sending Israel additional American military equipment, the first ever rebuke of its kind in Congress. Never has happened before. It's happening now. That group of Democratic and independent senators voted against sending Israel $61 million worth of high explosive mortar rounds. All but one of them, Senator George Helmy, Democrat, New Jersey, also voted to reject shipping Israel $774 million worth of tank rounds, which its military had used in attacks on children and aid. The overwhelming majority of the chamber, including all Republicans, still voted to allow the killing to continue by the arms deals to proceed. We have a great moral dilemma, great moral crisis, obviously. And that moral crisis is played out on the public stage, but truly it is a permeation of the internal moral crisis that we have inside of each of us. There is no way in the hell you can tell me that if you get better people in positions, you would not get a better outcome, because you would. Why? Because systems come down to people who govern that system. And the people who are governing these systems, they are the ones who are creating this kind of dichotomy. Because I saw Israeli citizens protesting Netanyahu. Why? Because they don't think like him. I saw on college campuses around this nation. Jewish and Palestinian student groups marching together, protesting not only the Netanyahu rage, protesting what Hamas did in the beginning of this saga, and protesting the American government's policy to continue and not call for humanitarian ceasefires. Those are the people who should be in charge because their hearts are right. They may lack experience, yes, but their hearts are right. All right, Senator, thoughts here.
I said, Doc, all of the above, amen to everything that you said. And I want to shout out Jewish Voices for Peace in particular, yes, who've been holding the mantle. And I mean, my God, they go up to that Congress every single day and accept and take on the abuse from elected officials who just really push them away. But Doc, your point about on those college campuses, Palestinian, Jewish, African-American, others, just people of good consciousness standing together to protest, like you said, Hamas, or what Hamas did on October the 7th, what the Israeli government is doing and continuing to do, and the fact that the United States of America, we're not even upholding our own laws. The right. Foreign Assistance Act,
that's right,
620I, is very clear. It is explicit. There is no wiggle room in it, that once the President of the United States of America is made aware that a country that we provide arms to is not allowing humanitarian aid to get to civilians, we're supposed to cut them off. It's very clear. The international law is clear as well. And so I thank God for the ICC putting out the arrest warrants for all three of those men. They are doing the right thing, and shame on these other industrialized nations who are watching this carnage and even funding the carnage in the case of the United States of America and not doing anything about it. But by the grace of God, go any of us. And before we even talk about the Sudan, the Congo, Haiti, and other nations in this world where that type of chaos is going on, partly because of industrialized nations, imperialism taking hold, ain't never left. And it's really a shame, Doc.
That's right. So we live in a globalized context, like it or not. No matter how much you would like to remain in a secluded part of your region or in your home, we're all connected.